T Show is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised. Live long and prosper.
Are friends with benefits?
Speaking of having a good time, Terry.
Dayton broke the G&T show. This is now the David Mack
Appreciation Hour.
What is it about this guy that people love him so much?
With his purple velvet cape and his crown. I thought it was a little much when he had us carry him in the studio on a throne.
I am awesome! Look what I have done! Look what I have brought upon the world!
There is an urge to go nya 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 nya.
I heard rumors that you might be working on something else, but we won't prod much. I was gonna say it.
I'm gonna pry a little.
Dare you! How dare you ask me to change it? Do you not understand the majesty of my genius? And the guy sitting next to me looked at me like he was, like I'd crapped in his hat.
Yeah, it's the professionalism that sells the show. That's right.
And welcome to this G&T Supplemental log. This is Gettysburg 7, also known as Nick. There she is to my left, your right, wearing her, well, not her Dodger blue. I can tell you that she's wearing Allen's Dodger blue for the Dodgers making the playoffs.
No, I'm wearing my Giants thing, and they clinched a playoff one-game thingy.
One game.
We'll see.
Even Kansas City's oops.
Tribble already?
I know. And to my right, your left, there he is, wearing his I don't know what the hell that is. Ceridium.
Kapla! How's everyone doing?
Good, we missed you.
And special guest this week, none other than the gecko himself from Cryptic, it's Al Rivera.
Hello there. Today I'm wearing my Wesley Crusher onesie today.
Yay! Oh God, it burns! It burns!
But it doesn't. But it does ride.
That outfit did look très uncomfortable.
It needed a skosh more room, as the people at Levi's would say. Oh my God, that's too funny. Hey Al, welcome back.
Thank you very much. It's good to be back. I love coming on here.
Oh well,
I enjoy having you.
It has been a while. And we are very excited about the upcoming expansion on October 14th, Delta Rising. Congratulations.
I'm not, because you get the Romulans off the homepage.
What's that? The Romulans are off the homepage? Oh, yeah. The Romulan girl is,
Yeah, she's gone.
But it's all, we're all united now. We're all happy. There's no borders anymore,
That's a good point.
I have to say,
there's nothing more fun than when I'm doing like a PvE, even in a pub group or whatever, and you've got Klingons, Gorn, Rihansu, Federation, all running around together. That's just so much fun.
It is.
One big happy universe.
One big happy, murder simulator, right?
Exactly. Hey, I got a quick question. Did you guys tweak I can't remember the name of it. The Undyne one on Bajor, where now the civilians are just attacking you more? Because it seems like I'm getting shot a lot more when I'm questioning somebody. I was like, what the hell is that?
I'm not aware of any changes to that at all. No.
Undyne infiltration. I like that.
Then. I think I'm pulling aggro then.
You might be. Because
it's been happening on my tax, but not on like Satan. So.
There's a special if and then statement in there. It's like if Gettysburg, then that's just for you.
Everybody's loathsome. I don't know what's going on.
Love it. Well, I don't think we've spoken to you since the convention, have we?
I don't think since the convention, although you had piled up a couple interviews, so it's like we were just there for the next couple of weeks. I kept having me on the show for a couple of weeks after that.
That was true. We did we got a couple of choice long interviews with you in Las Vegas, which was wonderful. But but so much news has come out since then. Really, I mean additional.
Did we
voices
see some news? I didn't know we had any news come out.
Oh
my God!
Yeah, please. How many additional voices? 4 additional voices?
It's 4 additional total. Is it total of 5? Let's
5?
see. But we had Tim,
had Garrett Wong,
Tim Russ, Garrett Wong, and then Ethan
Bob
Phillips,
Picardo.
Bob Picardo. So
Ethan
so 4
Phillips.
more total of 5. Yeah, for Delta Rising.
and Jerry Ryan.
Yes.
Hot darn.
Yes.
Are you the one escorting her and doing all of that with her? Because I hate you.
She didn't come on site or anything. Hers was the most challenging contract to sign. Just about everybody else. I mean, everyone else, at one point or another would talk to the actors directly, either on the phone or on email, but she has this collective around her of lawyers and agents and managers and PR people that I completely lost track of everyone that they kept bouncing me around to figure out how to make that work. And so basically, she recorded remotely, and I talked to her for a few minutes, and she was very bubbly and very fun, and she instantly just got into the character, just as though just first take. It was just perfect. So that was really fun. And then we did an interview audio interview with everybody, and then they had me. Christine did the interview, and so did some of the audio guys in the interview. But then later they had me. I'll spoil it a little bit. They had me then ask the questions later. So I didn't actually do the interview with her, but I'm asking the questions, and they interlaced her with me, so it sounds like I'm interviewing her. So it's like fun. Yeah, so it was kind of fun. It's like, wow, listen to me, I'm interviewing Jerry Ryan, but I never even talked to her. So.
Wow, Cryptic is turning into MSNBC.
Yeah, exactly. But it was a Cryptic. But Christine did interview her, and so did some of our audio guys, and so they just kind of just for whatever reason they wanted to retake the way the questions were read, so I just reread them. Not that I did a great job or anything, because that's really hard to do that voiceover stuff. It sounds like it's just totally read, but whatever. It sounds cool. So I'm talking to Jerry Ryan.
Did awesome. Ethan Phillips come in to do?
No, he wanted to. He wanted to, and but since he's in New York, it just wasn't worth that much of a flight.
Because if you had said yes, I was just hoping he came in wearing a Neelix outfit.
I just kind of envisioned he was.
Yeah.
While he was reading, I just assumed. He was the most fun, I thought, because he's just his character. Listening to him, because you can hear his voice and it sounds like him, but it doesn't sound like him. But then when he goes into character, he has this exuberance and bubbliness and inflections that you just start giggling listening to him talk as Neelix. So that was a lot of fun. He was very down to earth. I really enjoyed working with him.
Oh, that's great. I'm very excited for Cryptic and the guys over at PWE, as well as for us as the players, when we finally get to hear to what missions their voices will be applied. I love it. I'm so excited.
Well, yeah, Al, I'm going to pay you a compliment, Al, which I don't often do. I don't know why I said that. No, after about 18 months of not playing anything but my one character, I've been leveling up my other alts.
Yeah.
And it's been really fun going back through, because I'm talking... I was wearing Mark 6 gear. That's how far back some of them are. Yeah. So it's been really fun, going through the all the stuff and seeing the revamps, especially one character's attack, one character's Asai. So doing it with the different different skill sets as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And little things that I was like, I don't remember that from before. I don't think that was there before.
Probably wasn't.
And also, I know how hard you guys are working. Just Zero alone, tweeting, leaving work at 11 o'clock at night because she's loving what she's doing so much.
Yeah, Zero. She's doing a lot of Foundry stuff. She's spending a lot of time getting all the Delta Rising assets into the Foundry, and other stuff too. The maps and the characters and the costumes. So.
And there's a collective off.
Yeah, Ceridium just got dizzy.
A collective yay from the Foundry authors. That's
yeah,
great
it
news.
is. It's not the same game that launched, right? It's just tremendously different, and you know what? I'm not going to be satisfied though until in the next updates. I think for like by I think either by the anniversary we'll have updated then the Romulan arc, not the featured episode, not the featured series, but the one that comes right after the Klingon arc on the Fed side. So the old Rom arc, and then the season after that, we're going to be redoing the Cardassian arc. So basically,
nice.
Redoing those to the same level of quality as we redid the Borg Undine arc. So there's like a dozen episodes on each one of those. We'll probably condense them down to like 4 or 5, and then just basically just completely redo them.
Fun.
And so, and because we don't really need that many.
I like the True Way line, and it's got such potential for for
so
story.
we're gonna condense those down and basically kind of interlace them with the featured episode series, because that way we can kind of tell us kind of like the story beats in between of what's going on. So there's plenty of content from 1 to 50. So it's not like we need 12 bad episodes, so I'd rather have condensed that down to 4 or 5 good episodes, interlace it with the Romulan featured series, and then do the same thing with the Cardassian arc, interlace that with the 4400 series, and make that a much bigger Romulan arc and a much bigger Cardassian arc.
It's funny that you say it's not the same game from when it launched, because literally last night, I forget what mission I was doing, but I was playing as my Psi, but my engineer was launching his drones during a ground fight. And for some reason, in the middle of the fight, I started thinking, wow, remember when the drones were just flying discs and they weren't exocomps? And I started thinking back to different things and like the transitions and different things. So yeah, it's funny how much work you guys have actually done. And for those that think we're kissing Al's ass, Al knows we don't kiss his ass. But just the minor changes that are major in the long run, in the look of something or the feel of something or the sound of something. Yeah. So yeah, it's funny because it took me forever to remember what those drones were, and then I was like, oh, they were discs.
Yeah, they were little flying frisbees of death, and one of them had like blades on them or something, I think.
Oh, I forgot about the blades.
Oh,
yeah, like the support drone didn't have blades, and I think the attack drone had blades on it. Right. And I think on the Klingons, the Klingons still have those drones. I think, I'm not sure, or they have something similar, because Klingons don't have exocomps.
Right.
I can't remember what's on the Klingon side now.
I don't either. Well, lots of new tech coming into the game. Holy moly!
Crazy amount of stuff. Crazy amount of system changes, and in addition to all the content. So, I mean, like Legacy of Romulus was full of new content, but not a lot of systems. We didn't add any new end game to Legacy of Romulus. So most of the system time spent a lot of time on just building the ships and the critters and just getting the extra faction working. But this time we spent more time on specialization trees, right?
Well, why don't we start off talking about that in particular, because I do believe that a blog just came out about that, correct? Why can't I find it?
I can't tell you which blog came out at this point, because there's so many blogs.
There's so many. That's what I'm saying.
We write them a long time ago, right? And then it's like, okay, this blog's due, and then it gets reviewed and it gets translated, and then I don't even know when they get released. So it's too hard to keep track. What was the last one that went out? I think we released something about the APU and the Ture. That was the last.
Ones that just came out that I've got up are going to be about, or talk about the Battle of Corfez.
Right, there's the Battle of Corfez, but we also just released another species blog, Intelligence Briefing, released on the APU and the Ture.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't have that up. Okay, Terry, get to it. Go. And it is there.
The automated personnel
Intelligence Briefing.
Studying for the SATs, trying to keep up with everything.
Oh, I swear, it's crazy. What are they? Oh,
what's crazy? What's crazy to me is that when we started releasing this stuff, people were so Like, why won't you just tell us everything? Why don't you do everything? You know what? Because we told you everything, we would just completely bury you. There was just too much information to release all at once. So we had to, not only just because it was made good marketing sense, but we had to just kind of release it slowly because there's just too much information to get out there. So
there's nothing worse that, like, if you like buy a board game, okay? Remember the hexagonal games that you play, the war games, but the rule books, it's like 100 pages of annotations alone. Yeah, I'm not going to play that game. So no, you're absolutely right. Put out 1 or 2 a week. Give us time to digest it, to read it, because if you got to go in and read 1,100 pages.
No one would do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would do it.
And the ones that would do it and comb through it like, a congressional committee going through Lois Lerner's emails, they're the ones that are going to find problems with everything, including punctuation.
Well, I also want to tell everybody there's been some people who were wondering whether or not I was going to buy the Delta Pack, and the answer is yes, I did several days ago. So yay! I had to have the ship. I had to have the ship. I had to have the ship. And,
Al, I want to buy it. I want to buy it, but I just had to get $700 in new brakes on my car. So it may be a while before Cryptic is getting large sums of money from me. I'm still buying keys and stuff, but I had to get new calipers and everything.
Ow.
I'm still scraping together nickels and pennies, but I intend to get the Klingon ships.
Yeah.
117,000 miles my brakes lasted me, so I can't complain. I do have a question for you, Al.
Yes.
When we go...
That's what I'm here for.
Yes. When we go... How come... And I asked this in our team speak the other night, and people didn't have an answer. If you go in reverse with your car, it doesn't drain any energy. So how come when we back up with our ships, there's an energy drain?
You don't when you back up your car, it doesn't drain any energy.
How could it not?
How could it not drain any energy? What kind of car?
No.
Are you parked uphill all the time? I mean,
what I'm saying is when you go in reverse with your ship.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever gone back in reverse in your car and it goes?
It's energy.
It's burning. Well, it's also struggling, right?
No.
Huh?
Yes.
It's not.
My Humvee never struggled when I threw it in reverse.
Your Humvee. It did too.
No, but what I'm saying is it's not a drain. Like all I'm saying is why is there a drain on my my Sovereign class?
There is a drain on reverse because when we first made the game, people would just park their cannons directly at the target and then kite the enemy ships backwards. Right, and just keep using your cannons, and that's not how we want you to use cannons.
It's good tactical sense. Yeah, but that's good tactical sense.
Because sure, but it's.
But it's also in space, in which you have.
Yes.
Right?
Why don't they just put cannons in the back? Right. I mean, why the hell did they just put the cannons in the front of the Defiant?
Oh, believe me, I've asked
they
that.
They should put the quad cannons in the back because they're always.
I've asked that question more than once, Al. Why can't I put these in the back?
So because you can't, people would just fly backwards instead, and then so that kind of defeated the purpose of the gameplay of that, and that's exactly why. If you want a fictional reason, I don't know. You can't reverse the polarity while in reverse. I don't know. So.
It's burning my EPS conduits.
Hey, if
the Boussard collectors are on the wrong side. You can't collect as much, right?
Oh, there you go. Boom. There it is. There it is.
All right. We'll go for it. We'll use that.
We'll
use that.
And the deflector dish is in the front.
The deflector dish is in the front. It can't deflect as well. They have to spend more energy to deflect in the back to get that field to work better on the back. This makes perfect sense now.
It does.
It does.
It really does. I'm sorry I asked a question and doubted you, Al.
We can retcon anything. Well,
I do have a question from a listener.
Yes.
Let's see. Matt Miracle asks, can we please, he's begging and groveling. So he wants to have the option when he's donating common duty officers, he wants an in bulk option, like a select all or something along those lines. Any chance we can see something like that in the future?
like a slider?
Yeah, doesn't it do that already? Doesn't do that? I thought it did.
You have to go through and check each box.
Check each box. But we used to have to do. Originally, if I remember correctly, you actually had to just donate one at a time, and then we added the ability. Yes, you open up the box and you select them all, and then you send them. Then they all go. What more would we want to do? Because you do open one box, you just click, and you put a little checkbox next to each one, if I remember correctly, and then you hit submit.
I think what he's looking for is if you're donating like 20 sign officers or something, a button
or 60 of them at a time.
Yeah, that just says select all, and it would just send all of the ones that you have.
Somebody actually has 60 common duty officers at all?
Yeah.
Oh, I've donated hundreds.
I think that would be a tough feature to implement without somebody just saying, "I hit select all and donated the wrong guy."
That's what I was
would you give me? Would you replace my my exocomp or whatever, please? And that seems like it's asking for trouble.
I think you're right.
To somehow smartly select all. So I'm going to guess you probably won't do that. So
at least it leaves the responsibility of selecting the right ones with the player.
Yeah, I understand what he's saying, but I'm trying to think. It would be like you open your UI and just say select all. That seems
dangerous.
That seems dangerous.
Matt,
yeah, it can be.
Matt, make a game of it. Do the top one, then do the bottom one, then the second one, then the second from the bottom, then the third. So you're going back and forth. Make a puzzle out of it.
Is there another question, Mike?
So I have a question.
Yeah,
sure. So whose little girl is it that says "Live long and prosper"? Is that Nick's kid?
No. Actually, shocker of shockers, I was the one that said, do we want to keep that in there?
Yeah. And I said yes. I said absolutely.
Actually, it's my niece Katie.
Yeah?
Say hi, Katie.
Hi.
Hi, Katie.
Hi, Katie. Is that Katie or is that a soundbite?
That was actually Katie.
That was actually Katie.
She came into the room to grab something, and I said, since you had asked the question, I was like, wait, come here.
Uncle Mike is grabbing her by the back of the neck.
So, yes, that's my niece, Katie. I'm such a bad uncle.
And I am the instigator. I am the one, that's awesome. We need to have her say
that is awesome.
So, yeah, we adore Katie, and she's our mascot. And she's also kind of the...
She's the inspiration for Busy Little Beaver.
She is the inspiration for the Busy Little Beaver.
Yeah, she modeled for the artwork that we have on our site over there.
We have a Busy Little Beaver Productions, which is our little production company.
I actually never checked the website though.
Yeah, and it is a beaver reading a science fiction children's book to her little stuffed beaver. Very cute. Oh my God! So
you have another question, Mike?
Sure. I've got 3 of them,
Good.
or 2 more.
Great.
Let's see. Andrew Gilmore asks, currently leveling from 50 to 60, seems very slow on Tribble. My question is, will there be enough story content to take players from 50 to 60, or will we have to use other sources of XP, such as Foundry or PvE queues?
There will not be enough story insofar as saying you can just play mission to mission to mission to mission to mission. Along the way, you will have to do patrols, Delta Quadrant patrols, and the grounds, the ground battle zone.
Okay.
And as well, and so you will have to do that. The ground battle zone is pretty big, and it's very different than adventure zones or battle zones we've done in the past. It's not a run around and just kind of shoot everything. It's actually a little more traditional MMO like. It's more mission focused. So you start off there and you're getting a story on the battle zone. Now you can still kind of walk around however you want and kind of pick up missions. Oh, these soldiers are kind of pinned down here. Help them out. Well, but it's not run around and just shoot things. The entire zone is like things going on that you have to deal with. And you go from like this commander tells you he needs help here, and you go and you do this, and certain parts of the zone are level gated, so you can go all the way through the entire zone if you like, but it gets harder and harder. And if you're not the right level, you won't get the missions or the missions for it. You can do the found stuff, but you can't do the missions deeper in the battle zone. So the whole ground battle zone is It's very story driven, but it will take maybe a large part of the gameplay that you'll experience with Delta Rising is spending time down there until you complete that. In between that, we have lots of patrols, more patrols than we've done in the past. And does everyone know what I mean when I say patrols, right?
Yes, those are where you're basically system hopping, doing short little...
Yes.
Kind of like we used to do when the game
kill
first
5,
started.
kill 6.
Yes. So they're yes, but they're not kill 5, kill 6 missions. They're far more intricate or far more developed this time than other patrols we've done. But they're system hopping. You go around from Delta Quadrant system to system, and every patrol now has a lot of randomization in it. So sometimes you may get help, and sometimes you may get extra enemies may fight you, or different enemies or different allies will show up, or different story beats will happen. So the patrols are not only there's a lot of them, but each one of them is highly randomized.
Interesting.
So every time you go back to the system, potentially you can get something totally new.
You will get the mission, the basis, the foundation of the mission will be similar. It might be you go there and the hierarchy is up to some shenanigans, and they're hiding in a nebula, and you have to flush them out. But along the way, they might help you, or they might attack you, or while you're doing that, maybe the Kazon kind of attack you, or maybe they're actually or they're scanning. Instead, they're scanning Borg or something. So it's different every time you play them. And the amount of randomness varies from one patrol to the next, but so you'll spend a lot of time doing those, and so that's all. And those are all space because that's all space missions. There's no ground content associated with them. So you'll be doing a lot of that. In addition to there's also the new queues. And what we did do is at any given time while you're leveling up through Delta Rising, while you're in the Delta Quadrant. You always have a little contact on the bottom right, as we call the ripcord button on the bottom right. That's it'll say if you don't know what to do, it's like you can click this and it will tell you exactly what to do. It says, okay, you don't qualify for your next mission until level 54. You should go do patrols, or you should go do this queue, and it will kind of direct you to where you need to go next.
Right on.
So the amount of time that there's about a dozen or so. Or 10, I can't remember now, featured episodes in Delta Rising, but we don't want you to play 10 in one day and finish and be level 60, right?
Yeah.
So we do, we do want you to spend a lot more time, to get from 50 to 60. It's about, if our estimates are correct, and still a lot of tuning, a little bit of tuning to do, and we're doing a lot of playthroughs because, we're trying to play through naturally through this content, but that takes a long time. So we keep playing, having QA or play through and says, okay, there was some dead spots here, or this didn't really feel good, and so then we play it again, and it takes a long time. It's about 35 hours or so of gameplay. Okay. So
that's a nice chunk.
Yeah,
it is.
That's a solid, not like it is a big chunk. It's about 45 hours from 1 to 50, so it's a little bit less than going from 1 to 50. And so in between, you'll spend a lot of time on the Adventure Zone, and there's a lot of story there to uncover about what's really going on, and then the patrols and the queues. You can do other queues. You can do your old queues, but of course there's 3 new ones. One of them though doesn't unlock until you're 60. So there's only 2 new queues
for the PvE queue.
Yeah,
there's 2 new ones coming out.
Yeah, 3 released. There's the Borg Unimatrix, and then there's the Bug Hunts. And then there's the one that we just released, we forgot the name of it, the Battle of
Corfez?
Yeah, Corfez, but that one doesn't unlock until you're 60.
Oh, okay. Now I get it. And now let's talk a little bit about level 60, because as I'm going to admit to everybody right here and now, I have been staying away from trouble, and I have been staying away from some of the announcements just because I kind of want to be surprised by everything. But now some of the new systems issues or systems are being implemented into the game a little bit early, the gear upgrade event being one of them.
Yes.
And so now it's kind of out, and I want to kind of talk about it in conjunction with, is this kind of and I might be completely off base, I'm not quite grasping how a person is going to gain experience and levels after their character reaches 60. I'm not quite, it's not getting through my head.
Okay, so from 1 to 50, the game won't change. Okay, so you continue, you'll earn XP or SP or whatever, however you want to call it, throughout the game, and you use that to purchase your skills in the old skill system.
Right.
Once you reach 50, you won't buy any more points in that old skill system. Every time you level, you get 1 specialization point, which you can buy in these specialization trees. And so there are 3 specialization trees. There's 1 primary currently, which is intelligence, and then there's pilot and commando. So, and the pilot and commander are both secondary trees. They're half as big. Pilot space only, commando is ground only. And so you'll learn 1 point per level as you're going from 1 to 60. And there are 30 purchase nodes in intelligence alone. So you'll only be able to buy 10 of them after you get from 50 to 60. From after 60, you'll continue to earn XP but won't level up. Okay?
Right.
And so the time it takes to get from 59 to 60, that same time, it will take the same time to get your next specialization point. And you'll see the bar will progress at the top as though you're leveling up, but you just won't get the level. And then you get your next point, and then you can buy another point, and another point, and then you can keep buying them. So there's a total of 60 points to buy currently in specializations, and then we've got new specializations planned to come out with the anniversary, I think, and then
cool.
further. So that's where the kind of the endless kind of leveling up. So you can so things like XP weekends and XP boosts still matter once you get to level 60 because you'll level up faster to get your next specialization point.
So potentially we can unlock all of the trees.
You can purchase every single node in every tree. There's no respec for the trees. You can just keep buying them all. But the specialization trees, you can only have 1 primary and 1 secondary active at a time.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And so as you're if you look at the UI, you can just pop on Tribble and take a look at it without actually playing. If you look at the UI, there's the trees, which looks like a traditional talent tree system on the bottom. In the top, you also see this progress bar. Those are unlocks at the top. The unlocks will do things like, for instance, if you're in intelligence, you can unlock the ability to use intelligence kit items, or you'll unlock a starship trait, or you'll have a number of things you'll unlock. Those you get to keep forever, even if you don't have that. Even if you don't have that specialization. Even if you don't have that specialization active. Yeah,
okay.
Because it's just an unlock. It doesn't give you a power. It just gives you access to things. So you have to keep
I love
that.
the way the ship. I love the way my ship on Tribble is able to evade.
With pilot?
Yes, with the pilot trees. So
did you try? Did you see rock and roll yet?
No, I don't think I've gotten that far yet.
Get rock and roll from pilot, your ship will do a barrel roll.
I've heard about that, but I've not seen it.
It's pretty cool.
Shut up!
That is so cool.
Shut your nose.
Depending on the size of your ship, depends on how many loops you'll do. So if you're in an escort, you'll do 3 loops or something. But
sweet.
A cruiser will do 1 loop maybe. But if you're in a really big ship, it just kind of sways back and forth. It's too big to do. So.
Maybe that's what I'm doing because I'm just swaying. I'm in a Moog.
I don't know.
That's so cool.
But interesting. That's what I've been wanting to see. So that's why I threw all my points so far into the pilot. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, and then and that kind of resolves the Star Trek Online problem of there's no rank after Fleet Admiral. I mean, really.
There's no rank after Fleet Admiral. If we raise the level cap, and I suspect we will in the future, we'll probably just be like Fleet Admiral 2, Fleet Admiral 3, Fleet Admiral 5.
Numbers,
right?
okay.
We'll just have...
kind of like a 4-star general or something.
Yeah, it's like a 5-star Fleet Admiral, whatever that means, right? I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
So... so we'll probably will raise level cap in the future, but that's what we'll do something like that. There's no I won't make up a rank or call it something like Galaxy
Commodore.
Well, Commodore is just a really weird rank. It's just
it's kind of like between it's between Admiral and Captain, isn't it?
Well, basically the way I understand it, and maybe there's some military folks on online right now that can help me. But if you are a captain on another ship, you are considered a Commodore, right? Because you're still a captain rank, but you're not the captain of the ship. so you could be considered a Commodore.
Oh, I didn't know.
Interesting.
Does
I
Nick
had
know?
always thought that there was Commodore and that the U.S. Navy changed it to,
Now, okay,
what?
Commodore, it's superior to a captain in the Navy, but below Rear Admiral.
Right.
It's titled basically for any officer assigned to command more than one ship at a time. So let's say you
It would be the equivalent of Rear Admiral lower half?
no,
Yeah.
Rear Admiral lower half is an actual rank in the Navy.
Right, it is. So, but it's between
below,
captain
it's below
and Rear
that.
Admiral lower half.
So let's say you have a task force, a carrier task force, but somebody is sent with like 3 destroyers to go do something.
Instead
he would be a Commodore that would be in charge of those.
All right, I think I got it.
So it'd be a captain with perks.
It's like a fleet it's like a fleet captain.
He typically commands a flotilla or a squadron as part of a larger task force commanded by an admiral.
Okay, I got that.
Cool.
So picture the big Deep Space Nine battles.
Uh-huh.
You could have had Commodores commanding squadrons because each ship would have a captain. So
Wouldn't Cisco have been considered a Commodore?
Cisco is the bad boop, mother boop, so he has no rank.
He tribbled himself. How
I did.
cute was that?
Because Cisco was a captain, but he was also...
Oh my God, Mike, you're reading way too much into this.
Okay.
The traditional title of the commanding officer of a single ship
is captain.
Who is, yes. A Commodore typically commands a flotilla or a squadron. So you'll have, like, say, 5 ships in a flotilla or a squadron, each commanded by a captain. The captain in overall charge of those, of that small, is the Commodore.
Who still reports to the Admiral.
Yes.
In other words, Cisco. But okay, let's move on. Sunseal had sent me a forum post, and after reading it, essentially what I took it as is she wants to know if someday we'll be able to purchase Tier 6 upgrades for existing Tier 5 ships from the Zen store.
You mean not a T5U upgrade? You mean a Tier 6 upgrade?
To actually push it to the Tier 6, whether it's when Tier 7s are coming out or, at some point in the future. She would like to be able to upgrade her current Tier 5, upgrade her current Tier 5 to a Tier 6.
Right. I don't know what we want to say about that or what we're going to do. I mean, we might make Tier 6 versions of some of the more popular ships. We might allow you to upgrade to those. We might not do that until Tier 7 is out. So something like that is going to happen. I mean, we've got too many ships at Tier 5 to just abandon those. So. And just kind of start all over with our own design. So I wouldn't be too concerned about that. But I encourage people to try their Tier 5 U's, and before considering that they're somehow underpowered or obsolete compared to a Tier 6, because they're not. They're really not. Especially if you have a fleet version of one. The only thing you're really losing out on is a 13th bridge officer seat. And so. Within the bridge officer powers themselves, it's like 1/13th, power that you're missing out on.
I'm just laughing because Satan, last time I counted, I have 20 bridge officers because every time we got a new different species, like when we got the Voth or whatever, I would buy a new bridge officer slot, and then I realized when I started playing my alts, these guys have like 7. He's got like 20.
Yeah. But you're talking about the actual ship slot, the seat for them, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about if it's, every Tier 5 ship has 12 bridge officer powers. Ranked Tier 6 have 13, and Tier 5 U's still have 12. And so it's meant to be desirable and
noticeable.
Having anything extra to click on is always desirable that you want that. Because we want you to invest in Tier 6 ships. But overall, the how much more power you get, considering how many powers are already on global cooldowns, and how many click powers you really need. It's not like tier 5 T5U ships are left in the dust and become obsolete. So that's the main thing they don't get. They don't get a ship trait, but ship traits aren't locked to the ship. You can earn starship traits in other ways. First of all, you can move them from other tier 6 ships, or you can earn starship traits in the specializations themselves. So it doesn't come with one, but it doesn't make the ship any less powerful. They still get the bonus hit points, and they still get the bonus console slot. And some tier 5 ships are really powerful. Once it becomes tier 5Us, they're still really powerful. And if you've got a fleet version, it already comes with an extra console slot. So you're actually a fleet version ship upgraded to tier 5U is actually going to have more console slots than a tier 6 ship.
So they're comparable.
They're extremely comparable. People. I would like people to play them before jumping to conclusions in any way, thinking that they're in any way obsoleted. They're tier 5 ships. They're meant to be completely comparable, yet still making the tier 6 desirable by adding, for instance, the ability to use your intelligence bridge officers on them and having that one extra bridge officer power. So
now, again, as somebody who hasn't really touched on any of this because I've been staying away, T5U means the Tier 5 upgrade.
Yes.
Which is taking an existing Tier 5 ship and upgrading it through, I'm assuming, an upgrade system that's going to be similar to the gear upgrade system.
It's really simple. I don't know if it's on Tribble yet, but basically, if you have a Tier 5 ship that qualifies for an upgrade, the paper doll has been upgraded, and it's a lot of really nice improvements. That little square underneath your ship picture, which used to have all the little statistics, that whole thing's been redone right now. And
it's much cleaner now.
It's much cleaner. And then if you have a Tier 5 ship that is available, it just says upgrade, and you push the button, and then it will show you what you will get if you upgrade.
Okay.
And it'll tell you. You'll see the hit point difference. You'll see the extra console slots that you'll get, and you'll see your ship mastery powers that you'll get. And then you will, if you have to buy their tokens, you don't just buy Zen there, so you have to buy these Starship upgrade tokens, kind of like fleet modules. And you can trade them if you like. And if you have one, you can just hit upgrade, and it will upgrade the ship. If you don't have one, there's a button there to purchase the upgrade token. You can just buy it.
So it's just as simple as going to the C-store, or
you don't even have to go to the C-store. You just go to your ship paper doll. You just go to the ship paper doll, and there's an upgrade button. It says it right there, and it tells you what you're going to get. If you want it, you just click the button and say buy. And or if you go to this,
well, that's just darn easy.
Yeah, and
it was very easy when I upgraded my ship on Tribble.
Yeah, and all the ships on Tribble, I think, upgrade for free. I think, I'm not sure. Maybe I'm mistaken on that. I'm not sure what's going on in Tribble, honestly. But if you have a lockbox ship or a low buy ship or any ship that you won from like winter events, those all upgrade for free.
Oh, so, that's wonderful.
Right on.
So
that's
any of those
really wonderful.
So yeah, you just log in on Delta Rising and push the button, and you have a T5U instantly.
Nice.
And those ships are already really powerful, right?
Yeah. Well, you're talking to a person who does not, how many times do I have to tell you guys? I fly what I want. Whatever. I'm not like the big. I'm not a gear grinder.
So you'll be able to have
But the beauty is I've never had to be.
Yeah.
I've never had to be. I'm not a PvPer, so I die a lot when I do PvP.
Play what's fun. Play what you like, right?
Yeah.
Like you know what? Like because I have access to all the consoles. My ship has all the little gadgety consoles on it, and I like playing like that more than I like playing with top spec consoles to get all phaser tacticals and all shield consoles, and I get that, and those are really good, and that's how you want to compete. But I really like doing all the funny utility stuff. That's just frankly, spent a lot of time making them. I like playing with them.
Because like Terry plays, and then when I got my fleet Sovereign, for me it was all about making the armor. To make this thing the biggest tank I possibly could, and I think the biggest compliment I got was when we did a fleet PvP was that it took 6 people to take me down.
Right. It's fun. That's what you wanted from your ship, and that's what you focused to put in on.
Yeah.
See, for me, I still have 2 of my characters even though they've been level 50 for a long time, they're still in, boy, I want to say tier 4 ships.
Yeah,
because that's what I like, you know. So
well, here's something that I can announce that we should be announcing early next week. I'll just go ahead and just tell you on the GNT here is that if you have a because I think some people had asked about this, if you have a tier 5 ship, let's say the Galaxy, and then you upgrade it to a T5U, and then if you buy the Fleet Galaxy, we'll be able to upgrade the Fleet Galaxy for free.
Oh, very nice.
Okay, cool.
And vice versa. If you buy the Fleet one and then buy the C-Store one, you can upgrade the C-Store one for free. Because essentially the Fleet version is just in every way better than the non-Fleet version, assuming, except it doesn't come with a console. So if you buy both, you're
not forced into paying for upgrades twice.
Yes, because because there's no reason. Because if you buy the C-Store version, you get the console. And then you buy the Fleet version because it gives you the plus 10% hit points and the extra console slots and the extra shields. Then you move the console over. I think it's a good incentive for people who have upgraded their Tier 5 ships to just only have to spend that $5 more to get their Fleet version. Buy that one Fleet module, get their Fleet version, and then they can just enjoy the upgrade on it.
And enjoy the upgrade on it. That's really
once you
great.
once you upgrade your Fleet ship, you'll enjoy a free upgrade on all your accounts for that ship as well.
Oh.
So even though you have to rebuy your Fleet ship for multiple characters.
Oh, okay. So if I bought with Satan has the Fleet Sovereign, so if Vicky bought it, it would already be upgraded.
If you upgraded the first one.
Yeah.
Or
cool. Very cool.
Well, that's nice. Cool. That's very good. Yeah. And I can see where that would be a nice advantage and for people who would I'll take advantage of that. Absolutely. Because there's some shit. I just got my Fleet Advanced Escort. Hey.
Yeah, there's a lot of power and coolness about T5Us that we want to make it easy, and I think it's pretty generous. And honestly, I mean most MMOs for an expansion would charge you $30 or $60 for the expansion. The expansion's free. So you drop a couple $5 here and there on upgrade tokens, or spend $30 on a new ship. It's I think it's a pretty good. I think it's pretty generous.
Oh, I agree.
Mike, go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, Al, I apologize. I have to run for real world work commitments.
All right.
So it's always good to talk to you. You know that I may give you a hard time, but I adore you.
No, you don't give me a hard time. It's great. It's good to hear from you again. Hey, I heard Vin Diesel's going to be playing Gettysburg for Halloween this year.
He's
despicable. He is despicable. He could play you too. So let's, we bald guys got to stick together. So
that's right. Hey, that's who I want to play me in my
in your life movie.
In my life movie, yeah.
See, I want Jason Alexander to play me. So. But thank you so much. I'll talk to you later, Terry. Mike, I'll see you on Sunday.
Bye,
Have
Nick.
a good one. Bye, Nick.
Well,
okay, I've got a question. Since we're on the topic of upgrades, and forgive me if we've already discussed this, but I had to step away earlier. The newly added to Holodeck, the upgrade system for gear and weapons.
We only touched on it, Mike.
Okay. I'm really enjoying it. A long time ago, I played an MMO that allowed you to take a low-level, Mark II equivalent item and be able to bump it up all the way to super, glowy maximum, and this system has that, and I love that. What was the inspiration for this particular system? Can you tell us anything about that?
Yeah, that's what Perfect World does. So that's what.
Okay. Well, then that explains. It's probably where I saw it.
It's probably where you saw it.
It's actually one. It's one of the main features in most Perfect World games. And they wanted us to try it. In their games, it's far more expensive and generally it's part of the core of their game. And so we wanted to find a little more accessible way of doing it for Star Trek Online that just integrated a little more easily than like for instance in Perfect World games. I mean, the increase in power you get from that system is like 400 and 600% more powerful than the starting weapon that you start with. So and there's just no way I could make that balance in Star Trek Online. No. But it solved a lot of problems. It's like if we wanted to raise the level cap, we also wanted to raise the level cap of gear. And so what we were going to do is like, are we going to just put in the reps all a tier 6 and they put Mark 14 gear in all of those reps, and says, well, then that would stink, because then someone coming new into the game would never buy the Mark 12 version. I mean, we removed the Mark 10s and 11s because then when we're buying those, they were just kind of bad choices. And also kind of gets rid of the idea of what you see in most MMOs where they raise the level cap and the first thing you kill, a level 70 item drops that's green. It's better than your level 60 purple that you grind for for 6 months, the very first random drop. So we don't have that complete feeling of obsolescence immediately. Instead, you get to invest in the items that you've already invested in, and
I like I said, I have a strong appreciation for that. And one other thing that I have a great appreciation for is in the other game that I played. And come to think of it, I don't think it was a Perfect World game, but in the other system, in the other game, the only way to upgrade was to actually spend real world money for the item in order to upgrade. Mm-hmm. And with this, we have craftables, we have dilithium, and all of it we can earn in game just by spending time.
Yeah,
so
well, I mean that's just generally the model of Star Trek Online anyway, right? Is everything you can earn with dilithium, and if you want to trade it out for Zen, you can always do that. So that's just always available in there. So when we I think a lot of games that do that you have to buy some sort of token from their store in order to upgrade successfully. So what we did is, and that's why I was trying to get everyone to get your crafting levels up in time for Delta Rising, because if you have level 5, you can craft the small upgrade kits, and if you're level 10, you can craft the medium upgrade kits, and if you're level 15, you can craft the large or superior upgrade kits.
Yeah, I made some bad decisions.
Just go wide instead of deep.
I focused with intense, intensity, and I've got 3 or 4. I got 3 of them, almost to 15, but everything else is on 0.
There was no way. We're not expecting everybody to get all the way to have all those crafting schools done unless you just go ahead and just buy out all the just buy everything out with dilithium. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Came out of nowhere.
Bless you.
The superior upgrades are far more dilithium efficient. So people are confused about the cost to upgrade an item, but if you get those large dilithium kits, it only takes 5,000 dilithium to go from a Mark 12 to a Mark 13. That's maybe
It's not even a day's work.
I know.
Not even a day. That's mining. That's a day's mining for me.
Yeah. So it's not a lot, right? And then it costs about 10,000 to go from 13 to 14. And if you're using a set piece, if you're using a set piece or a rep gear, it's more expensive. I think it's like 30 or 40% more expensive than that. But each upgrade is like one large upgrade kit is only 1,000 dilithium, about 1,000 something. I can't remember exactly how much, but it's about 1,000. And so it's about maybe 1,300 if you're or 1,400 if you're upgrading a piece of set gear. I mean that's progress you can make on a couple items every day.
Yeah.
Very, very easily. If you're using the small kits, and the small kits are available in the EC store, and I think they drop randomly, they're far less dilithium efficient. The whole system is designed to benefit the crafters. And so the crafters can make these, and they don't cost any dilithium to make these upgrade kits. But you do need to get the rare components.
But it just costs the dilithium to use the upgrade kit with dilithium to make the upgrade. Okay.
Yes, only it costs dilithium to apply it, yes.
The superior kits do require very rare.
They require a very rare material, yes.
So
yes, but they don't cost dilithium. They do cost energy credits, but they don't cost dilithium.
Oh, okay.
And you're talking the very rare materials, the crafting materials, the R&D materials.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But you don't
and
have to
I've been
make
getting those through the Elite PvE stuff.
Yeah,
that I've
soon
been
to be called Advanced PvE queues. Right?
Thank you. Okay.
Right. So we're renaming and rescaling the difficulties of the queues. But you can also get, of course, both the accelerators and crafting accelerators and upgrade accelerators and those rare materials from crafting packs in the C-store, right? So they're like a couple bucks. I can't remember what they cost. So if you want to shortcut that way.
On Tribble, I have been doing not the lowest one, but the one in the middle. I forget what it's called, the intermediate, or I've been using those
the upgrade
to get to upgrade.
Well, it's on holodeck now. You should be using the holodeck, and we're giving away the large upgrade kits every weekend.
Yeah.
If you play holodeck right now it's a upgrade weekend, right? I think there's and so during this right now you can it's on
I
holodeck.
signed in and I got like 6 superior things.
Yes, those are the big so we want to show you what you can earn in the game if you or make as a crafter. Those are the superior upgrades. So we're giving away like specific items. I don't remember what the first ones were. Did we give it away? What did you get? So they upgrade like space weapons and space shields or something. Yes. I can't remember which one.
It's almost like how do I say it? It's like in the old crafting system we had like the forms. The form we had to use, right? So if you wanted to make a cannon, you had to have a form to make the cannon plus the materials, right? Yes. So now you get the upgrade kits plus this little form.
The upgrade kits are associated with the crafting school itself. So this weekend, looking at the event, the calendar says you will earn 3 superior ground tech upgrade kits. So you can upgrade any of your ground weapons and 3 superior shield tech upgrades that will upgrade either space or ground shields, and then 1 major tech accelerator, so that the tech accelerators.
It was the accelerator.
Accelerators will increase, I think, double the amount of tech upgrades you get from an upgrade kit.
So it's like a crit.
It's a boost. Yeah, it's a boost. So and then next week we'll be giving away 3 superior science tech upgrades, so that'll allow you to upgrade your deflectors. I can't remember what else. The 3 superior engineering upgrades, so that'll upgrade warp cores, impulse engines, and armor, I think, and then 1 major tech accelerator for that. And then the final weekend on the October 9th, we're giving away 3 beam tech upgrades, 3 cannon tech upgrades, and 3 projectile tech upgrades, and 1 tech up and 1 tech accelerator. And that will bring us into Delta Rising the following weekend or that weekend.
Gosh, coming up so fast.
And so we're also doing double exquisite bonus XP right now until then, so everyone can get their low level characters up, and this will allow everyone to get some of their gear up to Mark 13. And you can focus on one particular gear or spread those out to multiple pieces of gear, however you want to. And then once Delta Rising is out, then you can go up to 14 gold. Right now you can only go up to 13 purple or 13 ultraviolet, I think. And then you get the Mark 14 gold once Delta Rising goes out.
Wow.
Getting gold will be hard. I'm not going to make any.
That's the way it should be, though.
Yeah, it's people are going. There's been some sort of like it's so expensive. Yeah, it is expensive. It's supposed to be. You're not supposed to log in. I'm going to say you are not expected to log in on day 1 of Delta Rising and have all your gear upgraded to Mark 14 gold for some sort of reasonable cheap price or something. It's going to take you a long time. If you get a gold piece of item, that should be special. That should be, wow, I have a gold. I've got 1. I'm special. That took me a long time to do. Yes, that's what's supposed to happen. You don't need that Mark 14 gold. It's going to feel good when you get it. About upgrades, one last thing about upgrades is that, and it kind of ties into the difficulty changes we made with the queues. And that, so we've made.
So wait. Difficulty changes with the queues.
Yes. So it's kind of all ties together. It's like how Tier 6 ships work, Mark 14 gold, and the general difficulty scale of the game. From 1 to 50, the game is generally pretty easy. It generally is. If you're playing at basic difficulty, it's generally pretty easy. We're going to start tightening the grips a little bit. From from 50 to 60, you can continue to play the game with whatever gear you find in the game without having to upgrade and without even having to buy a C-store ship. You should be able to play with a free dilithium ship from 50 to 60. But you're going to start noticing that the game's going to start getting harder. So you should be able to play all the story-based content just fine, but you'll start feeling like, wow, this is getting pretty challenging now. Still doable, and for our skilled players, it shouldn't be much of a problem at all. But it should be to the point where, you know what, if I upgraded my gear on my ship, it's going to feel a lot better, and you'll see that really good gratification. It's like, wow, I really noticed that. Because the difference between Mark 12 and Mark 14 gear is twice the difference as it was from Mark 11 to 12, and the difference from the difference of 12 to 13 to 14 is twice the difference of it is from 12 to 13. So the gear starts curving up and it gets much more powerful. So when you get those pieces, 13s and 14s, you'll notice that they are significantly more powerful. So as the things get tougher, you'll start feeling some gratification.
It provides people with a legitimate reason to really kind of go, oh yeah, it'd be great if I upgraded, and it gives them that desire.
Yes, and it what it should do is that it should feel gratifying that I'm really glad that I made that purchase, or I'm really glad that I made that gear investment, because I can really feel the difference and I really needed it. And as opposed to, I'm already killing everything with spacebar, why do I need to buy a new ship or a new piece of gear? Because I don't really need to be more powerful. Well, now you should be able to start feeling it. So in addition to that, we took all our original content, which was elite, we called elite, now our queues, and now we're calling them advanced. So the advanced, that's gotten more challenging. And you will, all the critters in there will actually be, to play advanced content, you will have to be level 50. There's no more stuff at level 45 anymore, so all those queues are at 50. But advanced content will scale. The critters will be level 60, but it will scale the player to level 60 as well. And then elite content, you must be level 60 to play. And elite content is not for everyone. Okay, so I really want to emphasize that elite content is not for everyone. Elite content is for people who have invested a lot in the game. Who've invested their time, they've invested their money, they've invested their skill. If you haven't done that, you should die in elite content. You should. So it is not only is it harder, but there are more objectives that you'll have to do. There'll be time-based objectives, and so there'll be so basically in basic content there's optional objectives. And then when you play in advance, those optional objectives become mandatory. And there's new optional objectives. And then in Elite, those previous optional objectives are also mandatory. And then there's new optional objectives.
So there's actually going to be 3 levels.
There's 3 levels, yes. And in Elite content, if you team wipe, you lose. If there's a team wipe, they'll completely lose. There's no bum
rushing. Was that an evil castle? It was. It was an evil.
It was great. Thank you. I was very vicarious of you for me. Thank you.
No, that's not a bad thing.
So
I really don't think so.
There are people in this game that are amazing players, right? That are better than even what any of the devs are, and we want to give content that will be a challenge for them. That means that most players will not be able to succeed in elite content, and that's okay. There's plenty of content available in basic and advanced mode for there's plenty of other challenges. Now, what do you get out of elite mode after saying all that? Well, in elite difficulty, which will still be even hopefully challenging for the best players. And if the best players are finding it easy, we'll make it harder. We're going to make it harder. So the idea is we want to make this a really big challenge. So don't cry nerf. The point is to make it hard for most players. So if it turns out to be too easy, we're going to make it harder. But what you get is a new crafting material that comes out of it, and that crafting material will allow you to make research upgrade kits. Research upgrade kits are what will give you a better chance of upgrading your item to a gold item. Nice. So basically, in addition to the bonus rewards that you get out of elite content, including better crafting materials, better like Borg neural processors or Voth cybernetic implants and other more marks and more dilithium and whatever that you get out of there, you also get that new material because you play elite content to grind for gold gear. Right.
I can see it, and
it will take a long time, and that's the idea.
Well, that's kind of cool, Mike. Do we have any other questions from the listeners?
From listeners, no. But it seems like there's going to be just so much to do with Delta Rising. I mean,
well, Terry said she was running out of things to do, so we had to do something about that. So.
I am so bad. I'm up at tier 5 on all of my rep. I'm bad. Yeah. And it's just a matter of timing, Al. For our fleet, it's just a matter of bad timing in that our fleet is now in the midst of the last 2 upgrades to get our starbase to tier 5. Mm-hmm. The transwarp conduit is in the last 3 days, and then the final upgrade is a 14-day project, which we've been hoarding stuff.
Yeah.
We've been hoarding stuff to get that project started, and then we're all going to be like a 14-day wait, which will be this freakishly perfect 14 days before Delta Rising starts, right?
We planned it just for Kat.
Just for us. Love it. Just love it. But in the meantime, so we're kind of there. So what we've been doing now is just as a team and has been focused on, well, why don't we play for dilithium? Let's get our daily caps. Let's make sure we're prepared for when Delta Rising comes out. Let's make sure we start our R&D projects. And so we do have that. So really right now what I am doing, admittedly, is jumping in, getting my R&D projects, the 19-hour ones started, and cleaning out the ones from the night before. I've got Beth up into like level 10 on 4 different things. And I have been, you're going to laugh, but it's true, but I have been getting into my Klingon character. I have never been fond of Klingon play. And I created a Klingon character when the game first came out. So that's 4.5 years ago. And I finally got her up into Brigadier General, and I plan to have her at level 50 by the time Delta Rising comes out. So
there you go.
I'm having a good time.
We hope everybody has one of each.
Yeah.
The Klingon faction, our starbase on the Klingon side is not nearly.
No.
Sure.
and that's the one I'm waiting for.
It's going to take a long time, but we're getting there. And so that's kind of where I'm at. My reputations are done.
So you've done all your reputations. So the thing is, like, we've been focusing a lot on reputations, and so we realize that we can't just – one of the things we know at Star Trek Online is that we can't just keep doing the same thing all the time, right?
Right.
We can't just every update we'll just do a reputation and some cues and a story, and we'll do it again. And then every expansion we'll do another faction. So we realize we can't do that. We have to introduce something different all the time because it gets stale, right?
Right.
So now with Delta Rising, we raise the level cap instead of adding another faction. Not that we won't add another faction again in the future, but we decided we'll raise the level cap this time. And instead of, even though we did add another rep, we have, the Delta rep, but we also now we've introduced crafting, and we've introduced the specialization trees. So now when we do another update, it doesn't always have to be about a rep. Maybe instead we'll add another specialization tree, or we'll add another crafting school, or we'll add another fleet holding, or we'll add another reputation. So that way we can always kind of have in rotation different things that we can release. And we do have plans for another fleet holding coming up soon, which will mean weekly projects for decorative unlocks, if you remember those, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we haven't done that in a long time. So we'll be releasing one of those again soon. Probably some sort of holding for the Delta Quadrant or something like that.
Perfect.
So we're always we realize that we have to do something different all the time, so it's not stale. And so hopefully people will enjoy Delta Rising. We get a lot of legs out of it. Hopefully, I think there's a stupid amount of stuff there.
Well, when I saw the map, the beautiful map that Thomas posted and it's the 2 really big quadrants. that we get to jump in.
Sector blocks.
Sector blocks, which are really, I'm really looking forward to jumping in and seeing. Again, I have not played Tribble, so I really have been trying to keep, because I wanted to be surprised. I didn't want to be, this time around, I really didn't want to know.
So have you been able to avoid spoilers for the most part?
I've been doing really well. The only things that I have, I can't really call spoilers because they've all been real kind of tech. I don't consider systems issues.
No, I'm talking about story spoilers.
But a story spoiler, no. I have stayed away. The only thing that kind of made me laugh this morning was I saw the picture of the characters that are coming. I thought, these people never freaking aged.
No. Well, we haven't finished. We haven't finished.
I'm just saying.
We haven't finished aging Neelix. So he's going to get.
Should.
He's going to get aged, but at the same time, we do have an out if we don't get it done. To say we don't have no idea how long these guys live. So
that's true.
Right.
See,
so,
you have an out with him. You have an out with Jerry Ryan.
Yes, because she's regenerating all the time.
She's regenerating all the time.
That's
we have a hologram doctor, holographic
he's not
doctor.
Going to age. Tuvok barely ages. We gave him gray.
Barely
hair.
ages, right? You gave him a little gray hair, and then what about Kim?
Kim's aged. I mean, if you see the picture of him, we made him look
good.
Somewhat like he did in Endgame.
Okay, good.
Right,
that makes me happy.
So he's slightly jowly and gray hair. So
okay.
Terry,
yes.
Plug your ears for a minute.
All right. La 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 la.
Al, thank you. I love what you guys have done with the Vaudoir. So thank you very much.
We got to have some spoiler music first, right? Right. Warning, spoilers. Yeah.
So yeah, I've been wanting to see them in game for so long, and I'm just finally pleased to see them.
How much do you know about them? How much do you want to talk to? We want to spoil about them. I'm not going to talk too much about the story, but if you're going to say something, I can confirm or deny.
I don't want to spoil it any more than that. Just the fact that they're there, and I am pleased that we can leave it there.
Well, I'm glad you're pleased. Yes, they made a lot of sense for the story we wanted to tell, and I think they were really good. They were really good villain race from Voyager. That's once everybody plays the story, it actually it's a lot of stuff that kind of interestingly meshes with the STO story. So.
Right on. I'm not very far in the story. I've just reached the adventure zone, so I still don't know why or how, but I am enjoying what I am seeing.
Great. Yes. I can't wait to talk about it more.
I'm back.
Okay.
I said to send me a note because I took my headphones off, so I have no idea what you guys said. So yay, thank you.
We'll have to invite him back once Delta Rising comes out and we've had time to sink our teeth in. Because I'm sure there's a whole lot more we want to discuss.
I was going to say, is there anything else that while we have this now? Is there anything else that because the last time we spoke, I kicked myself around the house forgetting to ask a bunch of questions. And you were like, well, why didn't you ask me about that? And I was like, because I forgot. So I'm asking you now, what am I forgetting now?
What are you forgetting? So let's see. What the hell did we release? We got a whole bunch of information out here. So we've been releasing a lot of species blogs. I don't know if you want to talk about the individual species, but there's no real story spoilers in there or anything. But where did we talk?
We talked a little bit about we talked only briefly about the Delta Pack and the Tier 6 ships that are coming out in it.
Yeah. Which ship were you most excited about getting into?
Oh, the funky escorty thingy.
The escort?
Yeah.
I want the Klingon ships.
What's that?
I love her. She's pretty.
I can't even remember the name of that ship now. It's not the Scryer. The Scryer's a science vessel, and I'm terrible.
This link. Please click this link. All right. What is this? Well, it's not the new one that just got announced was
the Guardian.
Eclipse. The Eclipse is the one that
Eclipse is the cruiser.
I think that's the one that Terry likes.
Yeah.
Oh, you like the cruiser? I thought you wanted you like the escort.
No, the escort. No, she's cute. I'll probably fly it, but the cruiser is the one that I really am all over. I love that.
The one with the nacelles that I don't like.
The one that everybody sees.
But you know what though, that all the parts on all the intelligence ships are swappable. So you can take the nacelles off of the science vessel and put them on the cruiser if you like.
Okay.
So and you can even put the standard Federation texture on the ships if you don't like the black ops color to them. So you can just pretty customizable.
And then since then, the Guardian and the Dauntless have been announced.
Yes, been biting my tongue on the Dauntless forever.
You've been biting your tongue on the Dauntless forever. I bet you have. That is a neat looking vessel.
Yeah, it's very unique.
I really like it. I really like it, and I have to say.
And for people out there who, for some reason, feel compelled to tell me, the Dauntless isn't even really a Starfleet ship. Duh! I got my first day. I know it's not. I've seen the episode. I know it's not a real Starfleet ship. But
is it available to Klingon and Romulan factions?
No. Darn. I mean, it is simply fictionally. Well, first of all, it's a Voyager ship and it's really cool, the show spent more time around it than most of the ships that we've released into the game, and we're just seeing that basically all the data that was collected by Voyager when they discovered this ship of all its specs, that Starfleet recreated one.
I like it.
So yeah, that's fine. But it just baffles me when people try to argue that with me as though like I didn't know that, and so that somehow Cryptic has their head so deep in the sand that we didn't realize that it wasn't that fictionally it wasn't originally a Starfleet vessel. But most people are extremely excited about the Dauntless, and when they saw the specs and so that's been a really popular addition that we added there. But the yeah, it is. So it's going to be really fun to play this. The Intel ship, something that I don't think a lot of people have seen yet. The Intel ship, it has its special power, its intelligence probe. Little door hatch will open like on the top of the ship, and this little probe launches straight up and out towards your enemy, and then cloaks. And then you'll see it on your enemy, just kind of cloaking and decloaking as it's scanning the enemy vessel until it finds a weakness, and then you can use one of your 4 exploit weakness and intelligence powers to basically to debuff that target. So it's really cool. And then when you call it back, it comes back in, doors open, and it lands. So it's a really neat nice little touch. And so I'm hoping maybe in the future we'll make different probes, and so we'll launch. It'll look like it'll do a different type of probe we'll launch. But right now it just comes with the one. So
interesting.
I like it.
Well, I'm looking forward to getting my hands on the Maha Raptor. So
yeah, you know what? I'm really bummed that they called it I really wanted to call it the Targ.
The Targ.
Yeah, because it's really the design of it's really like the Warthog. It's the Warthog, the airplane that we have in U.S. military. So
okay.
So it's basically a ship built around a giant Gatling gun.
I see
that.
Which
is basically what the Warthog is. So it says, well, we should just call it the Targ, and nobody wanted to do it, and so I felt like forcing the hand, but I said, fine, go ahead and change it. I guess didn't, but I thought
that'll be my nickname for
it. That's what mine's going to be. Mine's going to be the IKF Targ. That's.
Because it is cool looking.
It is a Warthog, so effectively
and it's just a big gun with nacelles.
It is. It's just.
I can handle
that. Just basically, your bridge is just straddling this giant Gatling gun. So.
Well,
that's awesome.
For our listeners, that all of the links, of course, for what we're discussing with Al today will be a part of our show notes. You can definitely just click on them. But for the most part, you can head over to arcgames.com/en/games/Star Trek Online, or just go to StarTrekOnline.com. It'll get you there.
So did you? Is everybody clear? Understand how the new intelligence specialization bridge officers work?
No.
That's something we can talk about.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Now, how do they work? No, specialization. We're talking Bridge officers.
Bridge officers.
Not
yes.
duty officers.
Not duty officers, no.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what confused me. I'm like, really? These are bridge officers.
So basically, yes. No, go on. I want to know.
No, I was. How do we get them first and foremost?
Well, you'll be able to. They'll be awarded in game. You'll be able to, if you are level 50, you'll be able to get them from the duty officer requisition store. There just need to be a minimum level 50 to get them. And there's 3 really good ones come in the Delta Operations bundle that you purchased. So you'll get.
Oh, okay.
So I think there's 9 actually. There's 3 for each faction. I think I'm not actually. I can't remember now.
Because when I looked
you
at
get,
them,
yeah, every character
some of the to be honest with you, the little logos reminded me of duty officers, which is why I thought, oh, are these duty officers or are these really boss? And I'm pleased. That's kind of cool.
I think there are some duty officers in the pack.
There are.
As well.
There's 3 in the pack. I see it.
Yeah, so there are there's 3 very rare intelligence bridge officers and 3 very rare Delta Quadrant duty officers.
Okay.
But the intelligence bridge officers. So what we add is there's lots of little careers and sub careers in Star Trek, like communications officer and pilot and navigator and counselor and intelligence officer and all these little things, commando, like the Mako guys, and that we would like to add to the game, but doesn't make sense for a full class, right? It's like tactical engineering or science. So what we added was the idea of these specializations, which are basically in tune with what the player specializations are. So what you get is you can get a tactical science or engineering officer that has a specialization in, and so far the first specialization that we're introducing is intelligence. So you can have a tactical officer with intelligence specialization, or engineering bridge officer with intelligence specialization or science. And so if you have a bridge officer that has and currently you can only just get these officers like this. In the future, very soon, you should be able to take an existing bridge officer and train them in a specialization. Okay. But currently, right now, you're just going to have to get that specific bridge officer. And so,
good.
Okay. So, as say, for instance, a tactical bridge officer with intelligence specialization, that bridge officer gets access to all the tactical abilities plus 22 or 24 intelligence powers. So 12 for space and 12 for the ground. And so anybody can access the ground. So when you slot them, you don't get twice as many powers. You get access to twice as many. So when you take them on an away team, you pick which powers you want to have slotted that bridge officer will have available on the ground. So anybody can use a bridge officer on the ground and use the new intelligence powers, such as there's like a site-to-site transport power. You can tag an enemy and basically teleport foe to you, so that way you can pick out one guy. There's my favorite in there is a feigned disintegration. It's basically from Deep Space Nine when Sloan got shot and disintegrated, but he actually was okay. So basically, you can activate this power. If you get to 10% health or something, it'll look like you disintegrate, but then we'll just cloak you, and then that gives you time to just kind of turn around. Then you can ambush somebody. So.
That's so cool.
So that's one of my favorites. And
these are all under the intelligence.
These are all intelligence. Yes. So you have to have intelligence. Yes. And
that's great.
If you have a captain who has the intelligence specialization tree, you can unlock those as kit modules. So the player can actually have them as well. But you have to have invested enough points in your intelligence specialization tree, and the more points you get, the better kit modules that you're able to use. So that's what unlocks as you unlock through the intelligence captain specialization tree.
That's really fun.
Right?
I love that.
So you won't get them all right away, but you'll be able to access, because there's like 3 ranks of every power, right? You can get for an engineer can have phaser turret 1, phaser turret 2, phaser turret 3, right? So there's feigned disintegration 1, feigned disintegration 2, feigned disintegration 3. So once you first invest in intelligence specialization, you'll be able to use rank 1 intelligence modules, and then later 2, and then 3. But the bridge officer gets access to all of them if he's an intelligence bridge officer. And so anyone can use those powers on the ground, but in space, you only have access to those intelligence powers if you have a starship that has an intelligence seat. So, for instance, the new Intel starships have, for instance,
and all of a sudden, I'm really glad I bought this pack.
Yes, and they can use all these brand new powers, right? In space, you'll be able to use have access to 12 brand new.
And hence the extra bridge officer seat.
Yes.
As well.
And
Great.
so T5Us will never have access to the Intel seats. So you don't get more powers in space, you just have access to different ones. So if you're on the Scryer, for instance, you will have a Commander Science Intel seat. That means that Commander Science power seat can use both science powers or intelligence powers from that bridge officer. And so you get things like transport torpedo to command deck, or you get
oh, that sounds vicious.
Yeah. So there's another.
Holy crap!
I love it.
There is what's some of the other really interesting space ones that are out there. There's a lot of just really clever space ones that Jeremy Randall made all of these. There's
Mordecus, we still love you.
there's a subspace kind of turbulence rift that you can make, and there's a lot of really interesting, like, it's all built around kind of like James Bond spy type stuff, right? And,
how fun!
So if you take your bridge off, if you have a science Intel bridge officer and you put him in the Scryer, he can use any powers in either science or Intel in that seat. But if you take that bridge officer, you can still put him in any other science seat. But he won't be able to use the Intel powers. He can only use his science powers.
Okay.
Right?
Well, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. So that's the advantage there. Now, currently, what we don't have is what we're planning on doing very soon is a new way to train bridge officers, and I won't get into the details on how that will work, but basically it's going to be a lot easier to kind of train and change out bridge officer powers soon, so that way these hybrid bridge officers will be a little bit more easy to manage, because right now you have to basically go back and retrain them if you want to move them from, say, your science vessel to your science Intel vessel.
I got it.
Right, because she's not going to automatically just, because you can still only have currently 4 powers memorized at a time, right? And
well,
so have two science, and you have to have 2 of them are science and 2 of them are Intel. If you put him into a science vessel, he'll just have 2 empty powers. So
now, what about those of us who have full rosters? Are we going to have to look at releasing a few of our bridge officers to make room for these guys?
We were recently looking at that. There's actually a ridiculous number of bridge officer slots that you can currently get in the game. So I think you can get something like 45. You can actually buy.
Seriously?
Yeah, bridge officer.
Oh, well, then I have no problem. Okay.
So you shouldn't have any trouble. We thought we should. The first thing I said is that maybe we should give away some more bridge officer seats. And then we looked at it and says, wow, you can actually get up to 45. What we did do, however, is increase the number of free slots silver players get. So,
well, that's great news.
So you'll get more free slots. And I think we gave away a couple extra free slots for gold players as well, but not as many. So there's more free slots, but we didn't feel the need to increase the number of
on the roster. Okay. I have to go in. Apparently I need to buy more. Okay.
I think on my Fed, I'm already maxed out. I think I have to just start somebody.
That's a lot of bridge officers. If you have like 45 bridge officers or something.
I have like 2 of every species.
Oh. See, I was more concerned about, because over the course of my gameplay, I have, I would say I probably have solid 20. I think I do. But no, it's like when you reach diplomacy, you got the other faction bridge officer. Mm-hmm. You got all the special ones over the course of 4.5 years. You get like 15 special bridge officers, and I don't really want to release them because I feel like I've earned them and they're really cool.
And what we are going to increase is the potential bridge officer, the unpacked bridge officer slots. I think that only goes to a maximum of 12. I think we're going to increase that to 15.
That would be big.
So you don't have to. So you don't have to keep those packed ones.
That would be good. Yeah, it gives me a place to put them until I decide to actually commission them.
Yeah, and there will be additional bridge officers available throughout the game. Through Delta Rising. Either there's some that you will get awarded in the missions, and some that will probably be in the low buy store, and probably some or all of them will be some of the new species that are in the game. So there will be needs, and some will be intelligence and some will not. So we wanted to make sure there was room, at least in the potential slots. But we felt that I think if you have about 45 slots, I think that's probably enough. anybody who's that savvy and has bought 45 slots could probably manage to make room for one of the new ones. But we knew that silver players were kind of low, so we wanted to make sure that even silver players could get some without having to pay extra slots for those. So that felt like a good compromise.
On your own, most recently, when was the last time you yourself were in game, and what mission did you play? And it doesn't have to be one at a time.
I've been in the game every weekend, but you know what I've been doing? I've been building out all my damn loadouts. Every day I'm on Earth's space dock because I have so many stupid ships, right? Because I've got them all, right? So I'm trying to build out every single loadout I possibly can. So
that's so nerdy fun, Al. It really is. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I was just in last weekend. I'm going to be in again this weekend because like, oh yeah, I forgot I want that ship and I want that ship. And so I want to have all of them, every ship loaded out so that way I can go to any mission and just instantly swap over to the next ship because I have so much gear and it's just and I'm a pack rat with them all. So I'm trying to make sense of the mess that I have. So that was the last weekend I was in equipping up my Odyssey. So probably the last mission I played was just the
Here's like the world's dumbest question, and now that I have you here, I apologize profusely, but I feel the need to ask it because you're here. Speaking of people like me who hoard their ships and have over the years purchased the C-Store ships, a la the Kumari. I tend to use the tactical version of the Kumari, but not the Science or the other two. Mm-hmm. If I release one of the other two, can I always get it back later if I want it?
Any C-Store ship
I can just reclaim it, right?
Yeah. Currently, the only thing you can't reclaim currently are you can't reclaim the lockbox or low-buy ships. You can't reclaim the fleet ships, and you can't reclaim any of the ships you earned from like the event ships. Basically, any ship that's character bound, any ship that's account bound. Basically, you have a token on.
Okay. Well, that helps me a lot. That'll help me free up a few spots.
We are trying to fix that so that way you're able to reclaim any ship as well, because I think that's important. So we're going to try to fix that soon, so that won't be an issue. So you can feel free to make money. We're also looking, it's funny you mentioned this. We're also looking at, it's very early, so don't get too excited. We don't know what's going to happen with this. It may never happen, but I've been talking with Stephen D'Angelo about ways to basically mothball a ship, so that way you can still, you don't have to delete it. But you can mothball it, so you can't put any gear on it, you can't slot anything on it, but you can still see it on your roster, right? It doesn't take a ship slot. Does that make sense? Because right now, say if you got 20 ship slots or however many ship slots you might have, if you want to get a new ship, you got to delete one, put one in. It's just not there. You have to go to the C-Store and reclaim it. But what we could do is allow you to mothball it, just have it there on the list. You could click it, see its stats, but it's really not an active ship. You'd have to. So we call it, like mothballing the ship. Okay. So that way you will feel confident. Or you can feel confident about dismissing the ship without that it's there, and then you can see your whole collection.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that I've noticed that I've wanted to do it pertains to the lockbox ships or the low-buy ships. For instance, I'll get one. I'll move it to a character that I think I'm going to want to use it on. I start using it, and I realize, oh wait, it would work so much better on the other guy. So yeah, that's something I would like to see, is some kind of ability to say decommission a vessel, kind of like get an earned income credit.
You want to repack it back up, and so that way you can trade.
Yeah. Just pass it to another alt.
It wouldn't be tradable to other people. It would still be account bound.
Yeah. But
single-use account bound would be difficult, I can see.
Well, here's the thing. A, it's hard, and B, it technically means that it just becomes an account unlocked item. Right? Because you can just basically just transfer it back and forth every time you play your character. Now, it'd be kind of a pain in the ass, but you could just pack it up. You play it, pack it up, send it to the other character, which kind of defeats the purpose of what we're trying to do, which is there's really only one. You can kind of pass it back and forth. It's now I get what you're trying to say. maybe the idea is like you get to try it out, and then it's kind of like choose which character you want to bind it to, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that's kind of complex. I'm not sure how to do that. But without
it's hard.
It's
hard to try one on. It's not like a costume.
How about if there was a token that we bought on the C store or something that would allow us to unbind a ship one time?
Unbind a ship. Interesting. You can just purchase. That's interesting. I don't know how we do that. What I've wanted to do is something that Champions does, and that's basically go to a holodeck and try a ship. Right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that would
you should
allow
try
us
it on.
Yeah, so you can just go there and try it on. You just fly around a course.
Because I have the new, the new Eclipse. Is it the Eclipse? The cruiser that I just got?
That's the Intel ship. Yeah.
No. It's the one that I got from the lockbox, and some big cruiser.
One of the Zindi.
The Zindi.
The Zindi one. Yeah, the Zindi.
The Zindi, I don't remember the name. The Zindi aquatic ship? Or the Zindi reptile ship?
The aquatic.
Yes, I love that ship. That's beautiful.
And it's still in the box because I don't know which character I want to give it to.
Yeah.
And again, because I don't know much about it, so I really have to I would love to be able to try that thing on and then send it to the right character.
I think that's probably the best thing to do is to make it available, like in some sort of, just play a holodeck to test it out.
See what it would do to the stats and what kind of things.
As opposed to packing it up and trading it around. Because I'd be very concerned about aberrant behavior of that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, my dear, I think we are pretty much tying things up right now. As always, we could go another 2 hours. But
did we get all the major topics? I think we did. I feel like we missed some things. We talked about.
We always do.
We always do. Let's just check real quick here. So we got the Intel ship, the Intel bridge officers. We didn't talk about the Starship Mastery System and the Starship.
Oh, then we still have plenty of time, so let's do it. That's why I do these things.
Okay, so the Starship Mastery System is on Tier 5U ships and Tier 6 ships. Okay, and so that is so Tier 5Us and Tier 6 ships, unlike previous tier ships, their hit points will scale with your level. So if you're level 50, if you're level 60, they'll have more hit points than you had when they were level 50, and that's tied directly to your captain's level, and that allows us to let players get into ships at level 50 immediately without having level 60 to get them, without them being overpowered at level 50. So that's that. Then there's the Starship Mastery System, which also is available to Tier 5Us and Tier 6 ships. And if you have a Tier 5 and you go to upgrade, you'll see a sample of the Mastery System there, so you can see what you get. And that is basically the longer you play the ship, the more passive powers you unlock for the ship, so the ship gets better. So you'll get, like if you're in a cruiser, you'll get more defense or more damage resistance or whatever. And if
there's 3 ranks on that, right?
No, there's not 3 ranks in it. There's four passives to unlock per ship, and all cruisers get the same suite, and all escorts get the same suite of passives. And so it takes around 10 to 15 hours of gameplay to unlock unlock 5 tiers. The Tier 5Us only have 4, and the Tier 6s have 5. That 5th one for the 6 unlocks the Starship trait, which I'll get to in just a minute. So that's just kind of there's a lot of games that have basically you're mastering the item, or like you can have a weapon that you get better with it the longer you use it.
Right.
And so the reason we're doing this is so sometimes people buy starships just for the console or just for now there's the trait, and they may want also the trade off of it. And so we want people to play the ships to see if they like them, right? And so that way, you know what? Because I'm always playing an escort, which is a really good starship trait on this cruiser. We would like it that if people bought the cruiser, they actually played it for a while and said, you know what? I really like cruiser gameplay, and introduce them to different gameplay that maybe they wouldn't necessarily have been interested in the past. So it's not supposed to be painful. It's not supposed to take a long time. It's supposed to be basically you can get through it pretty quickly if you play a few queues. But the fifth power to unlock is the trait, and the starship trait can be moved to it. There's a new type of trait called starship traits. Like on your trait list, there's captain traits, and then there's rep, space traits, and rep ground traits, and rep click traits. There's a new one called starship traits. Is at the top of the list. And
so it's going to be under your character's traits.
Yeah. So once you
But
unlock
it'll
it on
be
the ship,
a different. So there would be like ground, space, starship.
yeah, there's one just called Starship Traits.
Okay.
Yeah. And so you'll get and it's very specific to the ship that you got, and then you unlocks it for your captain, and so you'll get one per tier 6 starship, and you'll also get one from each specialization tree. Once you finish the specialization tree, once you get about halfway through the specialization tree, you get the lesser version, and then when you get to unlock it when you finish the entire specialization tree, you'll get the full version of that trait. So those are hard to earn. They're really a long investment to get them, or you can get one from the ship. And those are kind of like super bridge officer powers. And for instance, and then on the intel ones, like if you get the intel ships, the 3 of them kind of work in synergy with each other. So if you got all 3 of them, I can't even remember how they work right now, but basically because there's so many stuff. But I know that there's a synergy. Phil Zaleski is Gorgonzola Zaleski, who did a blog on them. He's now he's our systems lead and basically ship guy. So he's been making all the ships. So he's far more. Knows far more in detail at this point about this power than I do. But they all kind of synergize with each other. So it's kind of encouraging you to want to collect them all. It's kind of like set bonuses. So one of them, for instance, does something like every time you use a science power, you get a bonus to your tactical powers, and every time you use your tactical powers, you get a bonus to this or something like that. So they all kind of feed off each other to get a nice little loop there. So that's how that works. I don't know if you have any questions or anything else basically to talk about. Really, it's just basically the celebrities and the story. We don't want to spoil too much story.
I'm gonna I'm gonna be avoiding that because. But we will definitely want to talk to you and probably Christine and everybody else who is involved in all of the creations of it. The story after it comes out, because
there's going to be a nice blog that was written by Christine and I that's coming out about the story process for Delta Rising.
Excellent.
About just the process and how we tackle something of this magnitude and how we deal with the celebrities and such.
The only thing I'm going to talk to you a little bit about on that was I know for a fact, I just wanted to say personal congratulations because I know personally that you have been waiting years to get Delta Quadrant into the game.
Yes.
Years. And I just have to say how much of what you originally thought you might be able to get into the game were you able to actually get into the game?
How much did we get? From what I originally planned. From what I originally planned, I got none of it. Because I had a completely different plan.
That's kind of what I thought. Okay.
But as far as the overarching story that how it's been planned, how we've been building over the last year since Legacy of Romulus with Sphere of Influence and all the Tuvok stories and I can't remember all the names of them now. Sphere of Influence, fluid surface tension, and what's the third one? Can't remember the third one now. Anyway, the 2 Tuvok episodes and the 1 Worf episode, and everything with the Iconians and the Undine has all been kind of leading up to this, right? The original plan, actually, at one point, we were going to do a liberated Borg faction. So we that was at one point we said, well, would it be interesting if we would do you play as a Borg, and then then all of a sudden you kind of open up into you wake up in Unimatrix 0 and realize that you can be free, and then you basically, it's your job to try to free your collective and then try to make your way back to your faction, and so have that not play as a Borg itself, but you play as a liberated Borg, basically kind of the 7 to 9 or Locutus or Hughes type story. So some of that is in Delta Rising, right? Because we've got the cooperative and we've got the liberated Borg, the cooperative from Voyager in the game, and of course we've got 7 to 9. But we decided that it wasn't the right time to do another playable faction right now, and so instead we decided, we really need to raise the level cap, and that kind of really changed our plans a lot. story changes. The details. The main story doesn't change. The details of the story change a lot based on our access to the actors, right? And honestly, we didn't think that we would get all of these, and we really got everyone that we set our sights on. And at one point, it was really looking kind of not so good with Jerry Ryan. It was really looking. It wasn't too sure if we were going to get Robert Picardo, and so there were a few that we really were. I mean, we knew that we had Tim Russ because we already had a contract with him from before. And so every episode at one point featured Tuvok, right? And so because that was the only new one that we knew that we could get. And as we locked things in, we decided, okay, now we can go ahead and put Neelix here. Oh, now we can go ahead and put Harry Kim in here, and then we'd have to change the story to what we originally wanted. But basically, we had Plan A and Plan B, and we did as much as we could before starting to diversify the stories to where we wanted them to be. Because the plan was that the first episode is you get to boom, it's like Voyager. Like first episode is boom, Voyager. Here's all the cast, and then every episode has like one story about that one particular character. First we talk about this is a Neelix episode, and it's a 7 of 9 episode, and it's a Harry Kim episode, right? It's a Doctor episode, and then we bring them all together again at the end.
I have a question. Please tell me that you got Bob Picardo to sing for us in game. Please.
You know what? When you tweeted that, I says we got to do that, and I wanted him to sing "You Are My Sunshine" with Jerry Ryan, but we don't have the rights to "You Are My Sunshine." It wasn't.
Welcome to the world of copyright.
Yeah. So there was no song. I couldn't really find a good song that for him to sing.
A royalty-free song that they could sing. What a bummer!
It is.
Twinkle Twinkle.
I don't know. So it's just like when we started thinking about it was like it's just too late to even try to make that happen. But it was like, yes, let's have them sing "You Are My Sunshine." It's really short, right? You just sing one verse, and that would be perfect. But we couldn't. Royalty songs are so hard to get, right? That's why we don't have Star Trek music in the official Star Trek music in game. We do our own versions of them because they're not part of the license. They're separate, and they're really hard to acquire. And then when you call a licensee and they say, oh, video games, and they see dollar signs in their eyes, and they want, okay, well, you guys must have lots of money. I want $2 million for this. And we're like, okay, well, we're thinking more like 200. So that's so I guess we're okay. 205.
Yeah. Exactly. I guess we'll go hire somebody else for a lot less money. Thank you.
Well, if you decide. If you can come up with a story reason in the future to bring Bob back, that's on my wish list.
I will certainly endeavor to do that.
Thank you.
I'm sure many of these characters will come back in the future. There's still a lot of Delta Quadrant to explore.
Yes,
there's a lot, and for those people who don't believe it, there is that map. There is that beautiful graphic map of the sector blocks from Star Trek Online with the two new sector blocks from the Delta Quadrant with a beautiful kind of area showing you how freaking far away and how small they really are in comparison to the galaxies, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's a nice kind of scale model there, so you can see how much we still have to do in the game. Right?
There still is
a lot of galaxy to explore, and so with Delta Quadrant, we've only done everything galactic south of the Necrid Expanse. So there's everything on the galactic north of the Necrid Expanse is still more sectors that we can explore, including like Caretaker and the Deans and the Swarm and any number of things on that side. Old Talax and all that kind of stuff is up there. So still a lot to explore up there. I'd love to get Kate Mulgrew in the game and do a Caretaker story one day, but we'll see if that will happen. So
interesting. Well, Al, thank you so much for joining us, and once again, reminding me why I love this game so much and have for going on 5 years. I can't believe it's going to be 5 years.
I mean, 5 years. We're already starting on our 5-year anniversary episode.
That's
We've already started our winter event and anniversary episode. We worked that far ahead. We basically Friday was basically the last scheduled day of work for Delta Rising, and now we're just kind of in polish and bug fix mode, while half the team is starting to work on the next stuff.
Wow, right on.
Excellent. And congrats on and to all the new team members. I think that there's a few that have joined your team since we've had an opportunity to say hi.
There's a few artists who've come in, and there's a few who have changed teams, who've gone to like Neverwinter or a new project. So we're in kind of a little dynamic phase right now.
Project, the project,
yeah. So there's another project in house that we talked about, but so that's staffing up, and so we tend not to put brand new people. We put some brand new people on there, but we want to also have experienced talent who's experienced with the engine move there, and then we just bring new people into the other projects. So we're just kind of in a little bit of rotation phase now. Now we're wrapping up with Delta Rising, but there's
excellent. Well, congratulations to you. Congratulations to everybody. We'll have you back on after the release of Delta Rising on October 14th, and I'm very excited. And congratulations again. It looks amazing.
Thank you very much. I'm really looking forward to coming back to talk about to hear your reaction to the story that we built, because it's I deep down inside, not even that deep down inside, I really hate putting this on Tribble, right? Because people but we've got to. There's just too much to test alone, and so I hope people are able to avoid the spoilers.
On Tribble, I'm just clicking through as quickly as possible, trying not to read too much.
Well, at least the cutscenes in the VO aren't up there, so that way you won't see that yet, because we're still finishing that up. But there's some people have already gotten through some major story points and have started posting about them. They've been, oh my God, they're so excited. But
I've been such a
I'm like, I just wish we didn't have to say anything about it. But it's,
I know. No, I have to say, I'm staying away from like the Facebook page. I'm staying away from the forums. I'm staying away from it's not like I have to worry too much on Twitter. Everybody's pretty good about it on Twitter. I haven't seen. I was actually surprised. No one has seen anything. No, unless I've already blocked those people who are. I don't know, but nobody has tweeted anything about it. I think it's because most of the people I follow they're Foundry authors, and they understand the emotion behind a story, and that is it has to be experienced, and it has to be experienced all the way through. So I'm very excited about that, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Seen more spoilers about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. than I have about Delta Rising, and I'm like, every time I see someone, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., scroll past, scroll quick.
You haven't seen it yet?
No, I did see it, but at first for a while, I was like, oh no, here they come, and so
I was trying to be good. I was trying to be good. All right, my dear, have a great week and a couple of great weeks before, and a very successful launch.
Yes, and thank you again. I appreciate you taking the time to sit down with us and talk Trek.
Oh, it's fun. It's highlighted my day. I love doing it. So anytime you want me on, just let me know, and I'd love to talk some more story with you guys. I hope that we can surprise you with what we have planned.
Excellent. I am all excited.
Awesome.
All right, everybody, that was Al Gecko Rivera, the lead designer for Cryptic Studios Star Trek Online. You can check out this supplemental log. Will be posted probably middle of the week. Mike?
I can delay it till then.
We'll go. It might be up in the next day or so. And all of the show notes and everything like that, you can just look right below our post, and all of the links for everything that we've talked about today will be available there. And you can always find Al at StarTrekOnline.com.
You can find me on Twitter. Is probably the best place to get my attention and to get tweet leaks. So that's just Captain Gecko, Geko, Captain Gecko. You can find me there.
Perfect.
That's where you stalk him.
Yes, that's where I get stalked.
Thanks again, Al, and have a great one. And take care, everybody. And thanks for listening to the G&T Show.
Kabla. Still on true.
G&T Show is a busy little Beaver production.
Music for the G&T Show is provided by Warp 11, Grethor,
5-year mission and Andrew Allen's Smooth Federation.